Hi, I'm Steph Ritz, and welcome to day 7 of the 10-day video challenge Stories That Sell. Today's question is, who is your community? So I define your community, your tribe, and your audience as 3 different pieces. You can catch that in the pre-training that we did starting here, but basically the audience is the broadcast of everyone that you're talking to. Your community are the people that are somewhat interacting with you. They include the people that are paying customers. They include the people that have really worked with you, as well as people who haven't and are maybe just there getting some free value, getting a sense of who you are, or they're just not in a space or not quite the right person, but they like the material that you put out. I will admit that there are some of my good friends that are on my list because they seem to learn more about me through my stories that I publish in business than they've ever known about me in childhood or throughout our adult lives. So when you look at who is your tribe, who is your community, and who is your audience today, it's community. So who is your community? For me, it's people who are really entrepreneurs, but also people who are changing the world for the betterment of others, an advocate of a brand, of a cause, of a campaign, of something that could be a different way and be better for everyone involved. It's for the greatest good of all is a phrase that I've heard in that same concept. And so for me, that's my community. Now, me telling you this isn't the point of the video challenge. The video challenge is to tell a story that illustrates this, right? So it's not a story that I've told really before. So this is the first time that I'm sharing this information publicly. I was working one-on-one with a client. We had done a lot of one-on-one time as well as group time throughout the last few years. And so I was there, very, very inner tribe client. And when we were working together, a friend that was invited along to sit in on the experience ended up slapping my rear. Now, while that may or may not be okay, or you may think it's nothing, prior to the incident, he said, I'm going to do this. Oh, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I slapped your ass? And I was very clear that no, this was not funny. It was not appropriate. Do not do this. I am working, not appropriate ever. And went back to work. And while working, it happened anyway, and was taken off guard when, in the middle of doing what I was hired to do, was slapped from behind from someone that I had just verbally told no and moved myself away from physically to rectify the situation. Now, while he thinks I handled it really well and just, brushed it off, I did follow up with this guy afterwards. And in that conversation, he was very clear that he sees no problem with it. That in his experience, no means yes. And that whether or not I had ever given permission, he would be totally fine slapping another woman's ass, or my ass again if he got that chance, with or without permission. And to me, that's unacceptable. That's someone that was looking at becoming a community member, if not a tribe member. And yet I chose to not work with and to not continue a relationship with. Now, do I judge him as a really bad person? No. Do I judge that perspective as inappropriate? Absolutely. Now, as a bit of a sci-fi geek, I will admit that I love the movie The Fifth Element. And I love that moment where Bruce Willis kisses the fifth element and she pulls a gun to his head and says, "Never without my permission." That respect, that level of understanding, of mutual respect, what you would do to me, I would have done to you. Let's keep it clean. Let's be there for each other. We are here to bring the world up, not to just choose to handle someone else's body. It comes down to some of those basic principles, and that's one I can't stand behind. And so that gave me the moment where someone was in the community considering getting to know more, step in even further. And I said, no, not right. So, not even right. You can go back to my audience, but I don't even really want you in my community. And so that's just how it is. And I'm sure our paths will cross again and everything will be fine as long as he keeps his hands to himself. Um, but it's also something that I've known for over 6 months that I needed to give voice to this story because it's still happening. And it's not just like a joke that this is what our community is doing. This kind of thing has never happened to me. In my entire life, in my entire career, no matter where I've been, the level of people I'm working with, has anyone ever felt it was appropriate to put their hands on me? No, not okay. So whatever's going on, to me, it was really important to give voice that people in my community are filled with mutual respect at all levels. And those people are changing the world by healing others, by making others bigger and better and healthier, by shining a brighter light. And you, my friends, you are my community. At that same time where I felt so affected by this, the same thing came up where I was talking with a mom friend and her daughter. In getting ready to tell this story today, I was sharing with her and she said, you know what, it's really important to share this because I just had this conversation with my daughter yesterday. She thought it would be funny to slap my bum, and it's something that's a trigger for me. I don't like it. I don't want you to do it ever. And so I kind of snapped on her, but I think she got the point. And then she was there today when we were discussing this. She was there overhearing it, hearing me say it's not okay, hearing her mother say it's not okay. And for her to understand, there's that different childish, like, bump on the bum from mom or, like with her sister who's potty training. But that's very different than out in public. And it's always with permission. If you say no, fine, we're done. That's fine. I will not do that again. Right? So my community in both home life and in business life are all saying, please, boundaries, respect. Let's understand each other and appreciate each other and get behind each other in a way that we can bring each other up and support making the world a better place. Using your stories to change the world. Again, I'm Steph Ritz. We're on day 7. And who is your community?